Hi guys, another quick tutorial for the Photoshop fans out there. Today I'm going to show you a quick and effective way to manipulate color using the Hue and Saturation adjustment layer. I shot this photo and many others a couple of months ago for Silverbed Cinemas Accra Mall, a great place to spend your weekend if you're in Accra. And the main concept was to get a shot of a scared couple in the cinema while selling the feeling of fear and excitement. The only thing I was bothered about was the color of the cinema seats, which I thought could really sell the image much more if it was red instead of blue. So at this point, I knew I would have to rely on the power of Photoshop to help bring my idea to life, if you know what I mean. Please note that the best effects are always the one done on set. You shouldn't rely so much on Photoshop because you know it can do a lot. You shouldn't rely on it. You should try as much as possible to attain your effects on set. I always leave Photoshop as the last result, so let's get right on with this. The fastest way to do this that I know of is to use the Hue and Saturation adjustment layer. That is the little black and white circle below your layers panel. So you click that and select the Hue and Saturation option from the menu that pops up. Only ones we will need for this are the Hue slider and the Saturation slider. There's another option at the bottom called Colorized, and that will be useful as well. You may try to move the hue slider left or right to get a suitable pigment you want for your image, but this doesn't always work because the hue slider affects a small portion of the visible color and may leave behind traces of the original color if you look closer. So the best way I have found to do this is to check the Colorized option and then move the hue slider left and right to desire the color you want. In this case, my color is red. I will then move the saturation slider to what I feel works. So that would be around there. Oops, I almost forgot. Don't be alarmed if it affects the entire image. That is expected. And that's also the more reason why I decided to use an adjustment layer as well. So I can delete the areas where the red overlaps the image. The interesting thing about the Colorized option is that it affects every single color detail in your image and then changes it to the selected hue. So now to restore the original color of the image, click on the little white thumbnail next to the Hue and Saturation adjustment layer name and set your foreground or brush color to black. Now zoom all the way into the image so you get a proper view and clean away all the areas that you don't want the color to affect. And in my case, that's the red areas. So I'm going to zoom into it and try and restore the actual color of the model. So here I go. You really have to take your time with this part so you don't delete unwanted parts of the image. But in case you do, you can change your brush color back to white and paint over the areas to bring back the red color. That's the main power of adding a mask to your layers. I might do a separate video on masking, but for now, let's leave it to those who really get what masking means. Sorry about that, guys. After I was done with deselecting the models after the image, I added a color balance to add a bit of red back to their original color so we can make them blend in the new red environment. Because if they were actually in red couches and the flash was putting light on them, some of the red pigment would leak onto their body. So by adding a color balance adjustment layer and putting a bit of red in their midtones, it makes the whole thing feel real, as if they were actually in a red environment. That's everything. You can go back to the Hue and Saturation and slide the hue slider to change the colors if you want to. Now you see it looks really cool across any color at all. It feels really realistic, doesn't it? So that's the power of this adjustment layer. And that's it. By learning and applying this technique correctly, you can do many things to your images without anyone knowing it has been touched in the first place. Alright, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Hit the like button if you think it's cool and smash that subscribe button if you want to see more. Until then, catch you later.